Sup, bitches? Welcome back to the Sassy Spiritual Bitches podcast.
I love that that's the intro.
I know, me too. Sup, bitches? Yeah. So we got our new logo.
So pumped about that.
I fucking love it so much.
Yeah.
It makes me legit happy.
It's so cool. And you know, I can't believe how much it captures like the essence of us without having actually met this woman who did that for us.
Right? I love how skinny she made me. God bless her heart.
I know, right?
Fuck yes.
Well, she told us it was a shoulder up. So we didn't,
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't have to, articulate our body. And she just sent it like that. And I'm like, fucking what?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, yes. You know? I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
Exactly.
all right then.
Yeah, exactly.
Done and done.
No,
But
she captured our vibe so well.
Yeah. Even the looks on our faces.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Or I'm referencing the book. Let me just fact check that because I need to have verification. And then Randy's just like, no, I know what I'm doing.
Over here with this crystal, like, bitch, please.
Exactly. I was like, she did it. She fucking nailed it.
Yeah. She just got our essence.
Clearly, she's very intuitive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I am proactive and think about it, I will link her Etsy shop in the description. But no guarantees because I'll probably forget.
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah. Super pumped about the logo. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's pretty badass.
It's pretty badass. It's on our Facebook. It's on our Instagram. Oh, you guys, we have Twitter.
Yeah.
At Sassy Spiritual, I think it is.
I do not know how to use Twitter, and I don't know if you've seen I made a post.
I did
and I was
that.
like, is this how you Twitter?
Is this how you Twitter? tweet, motherfuckers.
Oh, we should probably have a TikTok, but I just don't.
No, I don't want TikTok.
Okay, well, that's good because
It's like facial recognition.
like
stuff.
everything has that.
Oh my god, tin hats on.
Tin hats, yeah.
Actually, where was it? India? It's banned.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't need a TikTok. But if you guys have TikTok, please keep posting. It's funny.
I like watching TikToks. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have it on my phone because I just know that I'd get lost and never fucking do anything in my life.
Either.
But I like when people show me good TikToks because I'm like,
same.
Yes.
Why are we the same? I also don't have TikTok, and I only like when people send me funny ones because I don't know how to find other ones.
I don't know either. I don't get it. But I don't get technology anyway.
Right. This is the theme.
So,
if you listen to many of our podcasts, you'll know.
I tried to make the private group for our Patreon today, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It looks good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good segue.
By the way,
we have our Patreon. It's live. There's 3 tiers. I'm trying to think what they are.
Good Karma.
Right? Good Karma.
The In-Betweeners.
Yes. And then Abundant Bitches.
Abundant Bitches.
Yeah.
So Patreon, for anyone who doesn't know, is a subscription service. So you click onto the different tiers. You pay like a monthly fee. It's really low. I think it's like the first one's $5 to $20.
Somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. If you're not in the US, like my Canada and other people, it is in US dollars, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so it's a little more than what I just said for our fellow Canadians.
Because it has to be, I think everything is in US dollars on that site.
Makes sense.
We didn't have a choice.
And it's going to be, the subscription levels are for, we'll have extra channeled messages or weekly readings, more for the collective. So if you're at that level of spirituality where you kind of want to know what's going on collectively or what the focus is of this week or this month, subscribe, because that is what Randy and I are actually pretty good at, is channeling messages. Well, Randy more specifically for the collective. I channel through the Akashic records. So it's kind of accurate but dicey. I don't know who's getting messages that day.
Yeah, it's like this came up, guys. Do with it what you will.
Yes.
But there's gonna be card pulls, daily card pulls. What else? There, the top tier, you guys, gets a bonus episode from us every month.
Yes. And discounts off our services.
Yes.
Coupon codes.
Yes, coupon codes. I think the In-Betweeners get 10% and the Abundant Bitches get 15% off both of our sites.
Yeah.
On services.
So really, you are saving money in the long run.
Obviously. You get bonus from us every month plus discounts. Sign me up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
exactly. And I'm excited for the bonus episodes because I know they're going to be themed, Conspiracy Corner with Kayla's coming out for show.
Oh yeah, ghost stories, 100%. Oh my god, spooky Saturdays. We'll just drink wine and talk ghosts.
Yes, I love it.
Oh my god, yes. Those are gonna happen, you guys. They're gonna happen. It's gonna be so fun. We're gonna begin putting out content any day. Actually, there's already a bunch of stuff on there for card pulls and
cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So join up because it's going to be fun. Oh, and then of course you'll get access to the private face group, which I was talking about, which I can't. I'll hopefully figure the fuck out before that happens.
So like a little community-based place, which is awesome because right now I know so many people are looking for their soul tribe and their connection. So
absolutely. And you just get to chat with us and we'll post funny things. And
okay, so fun. I'm actually excited about this.
I know. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's going to be good. So make sure that you join us. It's patreon.com/ I want to say Sassy Spiritual Bitches. Should be on there.
Perfect.
I can probably pull it up. Let me say Sassy Spiritual Bitches on Patreon.
Ooh.
Correct.
Exciting.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Also, you guys, if you like sales, I'll do this now before I fucking forget. So on my website, authentictruthwithin.com, I have launched a summer check-in 6 month ahead tarot reading. So, well, it's tarot and oracle. We go month by month for the next 6 months. What's going on over summer? What's coming in the fall? All those energies. Yeah. It's usually going to be $100, but you guys, you know what? It's 25% off right now. So go take advantage of that on the website.
Fuck yeah. I need to check in because I feel my timelines have shifted and everything. So the original reading is probably a little bit different now.
I'm curious because when I did all the 2021 readings, this was the shift, right? May, end of May, June was like, shit's going down. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a 6 month check-in.
It was like shit was going down, but then it kind of leveled out after. Didn't it get like a little more
at the end of the year? Yeah, it was like kind of up and down for this part. And then like it hit and shit went sideways for a bit. And then it like totally tapered off.
When does it start tapering off? Like originally? Fall.
I want to say. Like summer was
fun summer.
Oh, I think it's going to be fun, right? Because you choose your fun.
Yeah.
But it was like shit's going down and it's like, what are you going to do with that information? That's completely up to you.
I'm ignoring the fuck out of it. And I'm going to have
Are you ignoring or are you just rising above?
I'm rising above. Because I can see it happening.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like if you're kind of anchored into that like ascension process, which I know a lot of you are, it feels like we're sort of like, I don't want to say hovering above, but like floating above.
Totally.
Where it's like you can see the shit show happening below you, and you're like a part of it, but you're like mostly just watching, and you're like, fuck, that's a mess.
I just feel annoyed by it. I'm like, what are you doing down there? Why are you doing that? You know, it's just like, but I like the word hovering. That's exact. It's like kind of like that in between.
Kind of like floating, like kind of like what, like just tilting, kind of easy breezy, but you look down and you're like, Jesus, like, that's a mess. And I don't know, am I angry about it? I feel like I had to release my frustration about what's happening in the world because I knew almost my whole family was going to participate in the shit show. And I was like, I'm going to have to let this go right now because I cannot cross that bridge later. I'm gonna drown.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. Drowning in the kiddie pool.
Yes.
But it's all good.
Drowning in the kiddie pool, no doubt.
Maybe that should be the name of our episode. Yeah. Drowning in the kiddie pool? Question mark?
Stand up and get the fuck out of there.
Just kidding. Okay. After 10 minutes of rambling.
Like what are we even doing here?
I don't know. We're just having conversations. Spiritual conversations with Randi and Kayla today. But we probably should actually get on with it.
Get on with the program.
Although, to be fair, we've gotten a lot of, or at least I have, from people that they like just this conversation back and forth kind of bullshit.
Okay, that's good. I've actually, where are my people at? My people that I've been chatting with have been saying good things about the podcast, but never specifying. And I've actually been extremely curious as to what people are most interested in. Is it the topics and the knowledge, or is it just the banter that ends up coming across with the knowledge in the end anyway?
Right?
Or not want to say knowledge, but the channeled messages that just
kind of come through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like the bullshit back and forth, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, honestly. And the most interesting shit comes out.
Right?
I feel like I learn something new about you every week.
It's like, you do makeup? Really? Yeah. All the things. So, but that being said, though, you guys with topics and stuff, we've said this before. Do let us know what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to know about?
What's going on in your world? What's the theme that's frustrating you? Because it's probably a theme of the collective or a theme of other people that are through the ascension process or whatever it is. So if you got something you want information on, Randi is an excellent channeler. She's going to come up with something.
Well, gee, thanks.
It's true. I watch her channel all the time. Yeah. I can just see her being like, I have no fucking idea where this message is going, but it comes out very beautifully said.
Yeah. But it's funny.
I've received lots of feedback about that. I love the way Randi describes this. And I'm like, yeah, bitch is channeling some shit for this podcast.
Right? Because I never remember it afterwards. Yeah. And then I go and listen back and I'm like, damn, that sounded smart.
I know some things, yeah.
Who knew? Yeah, those my guides taken over because I'd be like, like the thing with the stuff and you know what I'm talking about. Just fucking do it. That would be me. When it's very eloquent and like, think of it this way and like kind of very teachy. That's 100% my guides coming through.
That's cool.
Because I'm just like, well, I started the podcast Sup Bitches. So clearly I'm not I'm not that level of so today, kids,
Oh, that's funny.
It is funny.
I love it. So what are we talking about today?
Next steps to freedom.
Yes.
Next step. I mean, this is a mixed bag.
Because I feel like Randi and I are facing different things right now with the freedom bag. So it's like we're going to play like devil's advocate almost in a way. Like it's like one of us is going to say one thing, one's going to say the other. But we'll balance it.
We'll balance it.
It'll need to know. Yeah. Things will come out.
Yeah. And I mean, I like calling it next steps to freedom.
But we don't want it to imply that you should just like renounce all your responsibilities and jump into the unknown expecting the universe to catch you.
I mean, it's so contradictory because on one hand, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you jump, it usually follows. But it will also let you fall flat on your fucking face.
If you're being, like, I don't want to say irresponsible, but like if you just have not put any work into building or structuring or tailoring what your interests are, and then you're like, I'm a healer, universe, catch me. It's not going to work.
Because, so this ties into last week's. So if you have not listened to last week's episode yet, stop right now. Stop right now, go back, listen to last week's episode, because it directly ties in with what we're talking about today. So if you are authentically aligned and you say, fuck it, I'm going to jump, and you jump, then yes, the universe will provide 100%. But if you're just like floundering and out of desperation, jump too early, you will fall flat on your face.
Yes, 100%.
Like I think that would be the best way to differentiate kind of how that works.
Yeah, 100%.
So I feel there's going to be a lot of me going,
because it's such a fine line. So like that is the issue here. Like the next steps to freedom, we're not trying to tell you it's hard because that's not the case, but it's a fine line between like jumping too soon and then going to drown, and then consciously feeling when the universe is like, yeah, this is it now.
Like, yeah.
So it's like hard for us. This was because as we said in the last episode, we're trying to channel in what the collective needs to know right now. So we were trying to figure out what the topic was, and even the way it came out was a clusterfuck.
So broad.
It was so broad, and even in the way that we were like, some were trying to pull in the information, like using cards and checking in and stuff. It was like very contradictory, and I was like, what the fuck are we gonna do about this?
There's literally two camps. Okay, there are those who think they know what they need and they want to do, and it may very well be that is yes what you're meant to do and that sort of thing, but you're jumping too early. And then there's the camp where like should have jumped like 2 months ago and are dragging your feet.
Yes, that is exactly what's happening. And I feel like I'm receiving the clients right now that have everything in their tool bag and their toolbox to start something and anything. You don't have to launch a business, but you start a blog or a podcast, and they have all these tools and knowledge, and they should have they have to like start to offer and get out of camp and be like, I'm here, I have information. And then Randy's serving the camp right now of maybe like the people that are, or you're in your peripherals. I want to say you're serving them. But in your worldview right now as people that are jumping too soon.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting podcast because I want to tell people to get the fuck going. And Randy wants to tell people to chill out.
Like, slow your roll.
Because of who is in our worldview right now.
Which is so funny because a couple months ago, I had the opposite. I seem to be working with people and it's like, oh my God, just fucking jump already.
Yeah.
You know, where it was like, what are you waiting for?
And you know what? I had the opposite. People were like launching things and podcasts and blah, blah, but didn't have any like
solid
there's no plan or like substance. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
So it's weird how it transitions, like who's in my world. So it's just, we're going to be here to help navigate and make it clear because apparently that is what the universe wants you guys to know.
Yes. I mean, and clearly this has been a trend, whether it's been opposite or not.
Yeah.
For the last, I'd say 6 months.
I know. And even when we tried to channel in, I was like, can we get something new and fascinating right now? And like, it is going to be fascinating, but this is so
we're funny as fuck. So
exactly.
But
we were like, really again? Like, all right, sure thing.
Like, okay.
We trust.
We're going to pull about 6 more times and get the same answer, but we trust, I swear.
We did pull like 30 cards.
We did. We did. And they were always the same. And I always got the same theme and Kayla always got the same theme.
Yeah.
So I guess we're... Yeah. And we waited till we were together though. And then we got the mix. Like, oh, that makes sense when we put it all together.
Yeah. Which now I can't remember. So good luck out there, but.
I should have left the spread out. So we could have,
yes.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, we got distracted. I'm not even going to lie, you guys. We totally got distracted and we talked. We were going to start. We had everything set up and then we didn't hit record and then we talked for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, Lord.
It's all good. It's fine though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do this with, we start with one camp and then jump to the other camp? Or do you want to just kind of just talk and they both get messages at the same time?
Let's do camp to camp.
Okay.
Because I'm organized and not as good at channeling as you.
I was going to say camp to camp, but.
All right, let's start with camp A, which was the people that are jumping too soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, you guys, I feel like I'm just like grunting this whole time. But that's. It's just like these constipated grunts, but that's it's not the case. I'm just trying to organize my thoughts. There's nothing wrong with planning. Like I feel like I don't want to slap everybody's hands and be like, don't do this ever in life. But that's just divine timing is a thing for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be that, what's a good example? Like, let's say you decided that, okay, let's do one of my modalities because I'm familiar with it. Like, let's say crystal healing. You're like, I'm going to be a crystal healer. I really love crystals. This is the right path for me. Okay, great. So you take a little class on the internet and you're like, I'm going to do this and I have all these crystals and whatever. Great. It's a good start. But you jump the gun. Okay. And you get yourself a space and you do this and you do that and you get your business cards and blah, blah, blah. And then boom, people don't come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is legit probably going to happen to 99% of the people because they jump the gun. Right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like if we followed, and again, these are all completely, I'm making this up as I go along, obviously. But like, let's say you kept going and the crystals led you to chakras and the chakras led you, of course, to the colors that are associated. But then, dun, 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 color therapy came up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you're meant to sit. But if you jump the gun, you don't get a chance to learn that. Does that make sense?
Yes. And then me over here as like devil's advocate, and we're not going to like jump, but sometimes when you do launch things, there's a little bit of a weight anyway, because the universe is like, how much do you trust with your knowledge?
Fair enough.
Are you going to go back to your comfort zone and like shit your pants later? Or like, what are you going to do? Like, are you going to keep going? So sometimes there is a lull, but it is really important to listen to what Randy said about like evolving with your techniques, because if you spend too much time in the planning phase, I'm going to be a crystal healer, you're really shutting the universe's messages off.
Yes.
So it's like learn by doing, and then don't expect to become a millionaire until you've found what your niche is. Because when we borrow modalities from other people, that was their aligned and inspired soul desire, the person who created that crystal modality. And it's like, that was their path. And then there's other people that have probably done well with it, but like, you need to make it your own.
Yeah.
You gotta. So you have to be evolving and knowing that that evolution is required before you ever get to the destination. And this is not a 15-year plan. You should be evolving and figuring this shit out within like the first year of your business. Like,
yeah. Well, and that's just it. Things do evolve. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you can attest to this. You kind of find out shit as you do stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I started out with. Like me offering Reiki is so funny, because my Reiki, yes, it's Reiki in all sense of the words that, yes, I use and move energy and unblock energy and whatnot, but it ain't really normal.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that was just something that happened.
Yeah.
But I had also gradually, like, the only reason I jumped full time into it is because I literally had nothing else, you know, or I would have been held myself back. But I mean, it kind of progresses that way. So if you're thinking about it, don't put all your eggs in one basket. They're kind of like investment portfolios, right? Like you want to invest a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here. So try different things, you know, and don't put all your bets on one horse.
Yeah.
You know?
And the other thing that like when I first started, my mentor was like really adamant that she's like, don't say that you do this until you have some confidence with it and you've worked with about 5 to 10 people for free to have really developed the skill and figure out what's unique to you versus just like going by the schedule or going word for word verbatim what she taught me. Because she's like, you're never going to get anywhere. And this ties in a lot to last week's too, but like, you're not going to get anywhere if you're just doing exactly what your teacher taught you. Or exactly word for word how to run the session. You have to be flowing through it. And I think the people in Camp A really just absorb and embrace maybe the title or the label or whatever it may be at some times. And then it's like, how come my rewards are lackluster? Because you're not open to that intuitive nudge. You're not like, you're just...
Well, there's confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kind of talk about this to a degree with some of my clients too. You're only going to look for the proof of what you want to hear. Right? So it's like, ooh, I really love crystals and I like to work with them. Obviously, it's meant to be. Meanwhile, let's say all your synchronicities and stuff from the universe is like, look at colors, look at this, creative therapy, look at this and this and this and that. But you're not looking at that, even though what it's telling you is like 100% more, like more images, more channeled messages, more of this telling you this, more dreams over and over and over, but you've completely already disregarded them because you have tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So that's all we're saying here is like ideas are good jumping off points, but don't get caught up in your own, I hate to say vision, but like your own idea of what you think it should look like. Because if I'd have done, and I tried to, and it wasn't working for me, but it was after I surrendered that I was like, oh, this looks completely different. I don't know. Whoops.
This is so fascinating to me because it's like the more you're talking about this, I'm like seeing how my journey began and how I was led down this trail, and it just like I didn't ever have those preconceived visions. So it like makes me wonder, like I have to like make sure I put that in my like bank of knowledge so that I'm giving people like the proper information. But something I'm really passionate about is like unique alignment. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure I wouldn't give anyone any faulty advice, but I'm like, fuck, I've never thought of that.
Well, no, I don't feel like, because again, free will.
Right. Totally.
You can tell people whatever you need to tell them, and it is up to them what they do with it.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So like, and besides, you're never going to say, go do this specific thing.
Oh yeah, I would never say that.
Right. You're going to say, here's your gifts. Look into things you can do with that.
Yes. And then I do say, like, make it your own, because if you want to carbon copy someone else's journey, good luck with that.
100%. That is like a death sentence, ultimately.
Yeah. And I also like, I don't know, we'll have to still do that session on, or that episode on labels, because labels just make me fucking cringe. But it's like, I'm this kind of practitioner. It's like, you should find your own unique name for it, because like, it's almost... Yeah, it's just like sideswiping what you really are. So you're probably a gifted healer who does know a lot about stones and does know a lot about color therapy, and you need to just remember. But again, if you tunnel vision into a label or a box or a category, you're shutting down the other options. And that's where we get into trouble, because in the olden days and in our past incarnations, we didn't have a name for any of this shit. We just were what we were.
Purple pointy rocks. I just remember that from my hypnosis. Purple pointy rocks.
Yes. And I had a past life vision the other day, and I was like, is this person my husband? Like, who is this? And like, nah, marriage wasn't a thing. He was just like your bro. And I was like, that's confusing. And they're like, yeah, everybody was confused as to what you guys were doing.
Yeah.
There's like, no labels. Labels don't exist. You're just who you are. So allow that memory and knowledge to come back to you before you're like, I'm here. Come find me.
Look at me right here. So Camp A, we're like, if you feel like you fall in that category, we're not here to shame you. We're not here to do those things. We're just trying to give you tools to move forward.
Because we want you to be successful now. We know that you're amazing and talented and gifted. We've worked with your energy. Like, we just don't want that floundering and discouragement to come.
Yeah, because if you jump too soon, because we're human, and I've talked about the ego like 1,016 times, but like it jumps us back and we consider that a failure. And it's like, oh, well, I failed at that. Guess I was wrong. And then we start doubting our intuition. We start doubting who we are at the core level, all of those things, which isn't necessarily true. Yeah. And then it just gets you all, like, it backtracks you. And then you got a bunch more work to do personally before, you know.
Yes. And be careful too with your ego, because the ego and like, or even like your survival skills, I call it, which is probably partly the ego, right? Like, yeah, you know, you're starting to do something new and crazy and exciting and scary. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're looking for that confirmation bias. Like, as soon as there's one twinge, nobody booked this week. I'm so screwed. I shouldn't be doing this. And it's like, I should go back to my comfort zone and pick up more shifts at my other job, or maybe I should go ask for this. It's like, you do have to stay the course, but if it's been longer than a month and you're not receiving any good feedback, you need to tweak something. Yeah. There's a piece of your equation missing. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's probably something you need to tweak.
Really, honestly, if you're following intuition, you feel like it's the right path, then it's probably timing.
Yeah.
Like timing, again, I used to scoff at, like I used to be like, whatever, but it's actually so very, very important. And it teaches us things for a reason. So the importance of doing stuff for yourself right now, especially if you're wanting to go into something like healing work or, you know, coaching and stuff like that, you better get your own shit in order. And if you don't have a grasp on that, and see, our ego likes to tell us that we do. See, this is the problem. This is the part of really being honest with yourself and checking in and being present and observing yourself on every single fucking level. Because if you haven't done your work, And I'm not saying like you can't continue to work on yourself as you're going. That's not what I'm saying. But if you haven't done the proper amount of prep work with yourself, and I'm not talking like, oh, I got the business cards, I got a place to work at, if I did this and I did that and I talked to people. No, I'm talking about you, yourself specifically, right? You need to look at that shadow side. You need to see where your triggers are. You need to start using your ego to your advantage. You need to find out how to do that. All of these things that you, if you're anything like me, you thought you had a handle on. And then it turns out, whoops, sure fucking didn't. So I was very lucky that I was already, by the time I started full time, I already had almost a full year of that shit in a very condensed, like, in your face course, already popping up and dealing with that much. Otherwise, I do not think I would be as far as I am today if I hadn't done that.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. You need, and maybe this could be another topic for another day, self-awareness and mindfulness. But like, yes, we all are self-aware to a degree and we all do this and this, that, and the other thing. But it's to a deeper degree than we think that we need. If am I making sense?
Yeah.
Because
definitely. Like being aware, like starting your own healing process. And then when you're talking about that, the thing that comes to mind for me is like, do you want to be self-employed working as a healer for the right reasons? Because if you haven't spent any time healing yourself or looking into your own information and working with your own traumas and triggers and shadow, and then you're standing there saying, hello, I'm here to help you work through your shit. It's like, to me, it seems like, just based on what you're saying, I'm having like, I have a block with people from group A, I guess. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I'm remembering some of my fuck ups. Like, I'm like, oh shit, I see when I was sitting in group A for a minute or two there. And I'm like, okay. So do you want it for the right reason? Do you just want to be like the knowledge person? Do you just want to be like, hey, I made it, I'm self-employed? Do you just want freedom? Like, make sure you, and again, listen to last week's episode, but make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Because I'm seeing right now that if you are leaping too soon, maybe you just want to work from home. Maybe you just want, the extra cash maybe in your pocket. Or maybe you want just to be like, hello, I know something. And like to get that ego fuel.
Yeah,
like, look
that
at
attention.
Her. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm saying that for my own story. Like there was a really brief window in time that you're reminding me of. When I had started, I was doing everything, the Akashic Records by the book, how I was trained to do it. And I really thought I knew it all and that I couldn't fail. And like, I luckily was still like, it was a really small window because I got bit in the ass hard for that. And then I just remember being like, for a second, being like, oh shit, I'm doing this just to like, maybe like feel like an authority on something. Or I remember it wasn't even authority. I wanted to prove the job that I left wrong. For a brief window in time. I was like, I'm making it. I'm doing it. I know stuff. I'm here. I'm doing it. Like I quit my job. Yeah.
In your face.
Proved you guys wrong.
Yeah.
And I realized some of the things I was doing by the book was like daunting and exhausting to me because I didn't like those parts of the Akashic Record, that I was more interested in XYZ. And then I started opening more into that and like doing more research and knowledge and like trying to fill gaps. And then suddenly everything started working out because I was back to that authentic and I didn't give a flying fuck about the job that I left. I was like, done. Like it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah. Because
I was for a minute focusing on the wrong areas. So if you're kind of in Camp A and like launching yourself, like what's your, or if you're in any of the camps, what is your motive?
Yeah. What is the reasoning? Because a lot of times, and this is the shadow stuff, right? Stuff we don't want to admit even to ourselves. It's like, yeah, I want the attention. Yeah, I want to feel smart. I want to feel, this big one, I want to feel special.
Oh, fuck, I remember that.
Right? I want
and it wasn't
to feel special.
The special piece. It wasn't that I wanted, like, I think I've mentioned it before, like I actually hate when people pay attention to me. I really just want to be myself, but please, everybody let me be myself and don't like look at me and make me feel shitty about it. Just leave me alone. But I remember being like, feeling so invalidated at my past job. Like I worked so fucking hard and I was invisible and I was almost like annoying, I think, to some people because I constantly wanted to make things better. So there was a brief period in time where I was like, I want to feel like I'm gifted and special and have something. And I really was looking for that spark within me that made me feel like I was of value. But that was my shadow piece that like I needed to work on myself because guess what? We're all really special and really gifted, which ipso facto makes none of us really that special because we're all really gifted. We're just gifted in different departments. So if you're looking for that validation of I'm special or I'm a medium or I'm really good at this, whole karma's going to teach you the hard way that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So making sure that you kind of have it like tailored down, like why?
And I know we've said this in past podcasts. Your gifts aren't going to feel special.
Oh,
it's not going to feel special. It's going to feel very mundane. And again, if we're not in check with ourselves and being honest with ourselves, that's where like the ego gift envy comes. Like, oh, why aren't I like so-and-so? Or I want to do what so-and-so is doing because it seems so cool. Meanwhile, what you're doing on yourself is like fucking badass to somebody else. And you're just like, well, I was born with this. It doesn't feel like anything, so I'm not special.
Oh, that just crushes my spirit because I see so many people that feel that way when I start reading off to them kind of where their gift energy lies and how they can focus and harness that. And you can just see them like, some people are like fucking pumped. And then other people are kind of like, oh, that's it, hey? And it's like, that's it? What do you mean? Have you looked at the state of the world? More people need to be out there like you cleaning this fucking shit up.
Yeah.
And it's like, you were born with that gift. You've been wise since, or like whatever it was, since the moment that you came into this earth plane. So it's like, it doesn't feel special. And if you keep looking externally because you want what someone else has, you are going to bypass your gift hard and you're going to miss out on all the fun. And you're not going to be able to tap into that level of abundance if you want to run and hide from what you really are inside.
Because again, ties into last week's authentic alignment podcast.
Yeah. And like if you listen to it, you can't tap into abundance if you're not in your authentic alignment. Exactly. It's just impossible. And if you want to fight the laws of karma, be my guest and try. It will crush you. And it's not to scare you and be like, you're doing it wrong. But we're just saying, don't tunnel vision. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't label. Be open. Try new modalities. Think about what you actually love about each session or whatever it is you're doing.
What are you good at?
Yes.
Like, what do you feel you're good at? You know?
What would you say you're good at? Like, I mean, like, remember when you were starting, what were you like, fuck, I'm kind of good at this? I'm so curious.
You know what? It wasn't even, let's go back further, not just when I started.
Yeah, okay, right. Anytime.
I have always had this knack for making people see things a certain way, like a different way than what they were already looking at it. And
I feel like you're super gifted at like telling people like to look at themselves more clearly, but not in a rude, offensive way.
No, I make it seem like it's their own idea.
Yes.
Right? So
and you knew that like early on.
Oh yeah. I have literally been my friends' counselors.
Wow, cool.
I've been relationship counseling. Family stuff. Like I was the one that everyone went to.
Right.
Like I remember like a couple of my friends, like and they're married now. They have been married for like 20 fucking years.
Wow.
We're going through a rough patch and I was friends with both of them. And I would spend hours on the phone to one, hours on the phone to the other. And it was like, okay, but think about it from this perspective. Okay, think about it from this perspective to each one of them individually.
Cool.
And they came together.
And then it's like, look how early on in your life, you're not life coaching what you're doing now, but look at how exactly that suit is almost your strong suit even in this work. So again, being self-aware, reevaluating what are your strong suits that you're actually aware of now and what are your weaknesses, because you're going to need to tweak everything you do to honor your strengths and silence your weaknesses. What's mine?
I was going to say, what's yours though? I want to know what you think.
I feel like I was really good. It was writing. I was like, I'm a really good writer and like I can communicate like complex subjects in like simpler, like give examples and like
streamlining,
like simplifying really complex ideas
totally
to people. I remember doing that in my job. Like I worked with a lot of newcomer, the people that basically people that's English was their second or third or fifth language, right? So it would be like these really complex things. And I don't speak any other language. And I would be able to just like break down these things and simplify it. And even when I was in university, I'd be like, you're a really good writer. You really explained your point. But it's usually better in writing. Except with the Akashic records now, it's like comes out a lot better through words. But like explaining complex subjects and streamlining processes and like complicated targets and contracts and knowledge, and it was just like, and then it's like, it's exactly what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, taking these really complex subjects and like, and then I would say I'm a why person. So my curiosity for why has really played off. But you know what? I'm hella impatient. So me doing what Randi does, so like waiting for people to come around to those actualizations, that would be a weak spot for me. I just want to tell you, like,
it's like, just fucking do this.
Do this. That's your homework.
And it'll fix your fucking life. Okay, just take my word for it, which is not a very good approach. Tried that one in the past, does not work.
Yeah, right? And it's like, well, I'm not telling people what to do, but I'm like just rattling off information, and then this is the area that your Akashic record says you focus on. There you go.
Well, that's just it, but you leave it up to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's perfect.
I know, and it's like, it's so funny. So it's like, drop the course, like not drop it, but just for a minute, close your eyes, drop the modality, drop the knowledge you've learned, and just like reflect on your qualities and things that you think you're good at and you have been good at, things you actually like focusing your attention into, because I've tweaked how I read the Akashic records like every 6 months, because I'm like, this isn't working. This isn't working. I don't like this. I like this. This seems to be getting part. There's a gap here. How can I fill this gap? I need more information. And it's just like constantly evolving, because I actually am self-assessing.
Yeah.
What's working for me, what's working for my clients, and what's not working, and so on and so forth. And every single time I tweak it, it gets better for me and my clients. I earn more abundance. So the more times you can just do that, the better.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the issue with, like, to me, what it sounds like with the Camp A people we're talking about is they're just very like boxed, like rigid. You're trying to leave the box of being employed Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, but you've just put yourself in a new box, and it's also not going to serve you. And karma's going to make sure that you don't forget that. Mm-hmm. So be fluid. And if anyone needs to learn how to release control, it's fucking me. Okay, you guys? So
because I mean, because ultimately, like, and I do this with a lot with my coaching clients and stuff, and it's like, ultimately, what do you want? Well, freedom. Okay, but you have an idea of what freedom looks like. Or what if I told you that you can have freedom right now, exactly in this moment, doing the job that you're doing this, doing that, just by, doing a little bit of tweaks within.
Yes. And it's really like important that you define what freedom means to you, like you said, because like I talk about freedom all the time. That's what I want to manifest. I want to be free, but like I'm a busybody. I don't mean not working. Yeah. Because I'll lose it. I can't just like sit on the beach and read for the rest of my life.
I so fucking could though.
Oh, no, I need to have something to focus on, but I just need more flexibility within that.
Oh yeah.
Like I would get bored for sure.
I totally would too.
I would go make work for myself. So it's like, what does freedom really mean? And be honest. Do you actually want to do nothing?
You guys,
answer's probably no.
No. And you know what? I think a lot of us have this idea of self-employment and like the healing work that it's going to give us this freedom, and it's going to give us the, ultimate idea of what we have in our heads. And I'm just using healing because that's what I do.
Yes.
So, but here's the thing. Self-employed, I don't think I've ever been as busy. Like, and I used to keep myself busy for 14 hours a day, right? Working 12-hour shifts and then 2 hours after work, usually doing other work, So I would keep myself that distracted. And yet it almost seems like self-employed, I'm even busier.
Oh, man.
Like it just doesn't end.
No.
So you have to look at, is that part of your freedom plan? you know, like, yeah, sure, you work from home, but guess what? You work from home.
And you can't turn it off. Like, I have a little, like, I'm working on it. But on the weekends now, I'm trying to be like, don't look at your phone, don't read emails, don't check your business account, just let it go.
Good luck.
Exactly. I have an old iPod Touch, and I've actually been shutting my phone off and just using my iPod Touch, because the only reason I actually have my phone is for the music on there. I love music. It's everything to me. So to just leave my phone behind but not have access to my Spotify is like death to me. So I'm like, okay, I need to find a way around this. So I've been leaving my phone. I can iMessage my sister on there, Randi, and then it's like I can get Spotify and my Apple Music. And I'm like, yeah, this is good. So I'm working on it, but the fucking guilt, you guys.
Oh, I didn't have that problem.
And then I look at my account on Monday and I'm like, fuck, these people have been waiting 3 days to hear from me.
See, yeah, mine isn't the guilt. Mine is, I don't want this all to backlog and cause me stress. It's easier just to deal with it
both,
now.
The guilt and the backlog.
So I just think I'm preventing myself.
Yes.
In the future.
So my ultimate goal, and I think Randy's too, is to eventually free up some of our time by doing things in a different sense. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like. Stay tuned. But freeing ourselves up in a different sense where I'm still adding the value, but I have a little bit more flexibility in my day. But like, when I was in hypnosis, I asked my higher self, I was like, can I have the life that I'm envisioning? And my higher self scoffed at me and was like, have you ever not got what you wanted? Like, of course you're going to get there. It's like, how can I get there faster? And my higher self was like, you can't. You have to go through the tears. Yeah. Like, you have to take the steps. It's not going to happen overnight because you can't triple, quadruple, 5 times your abundance and become a millionaire in a year. So be realistic. What are you trying to manifest? Does it actually go hand in hand with self-employment, or is there a way you can tweak the job that you have now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm busier now than I ever have been, like, with backlog and stuff. But at the same time, I really enjoy that.
The backlog?
Well, like the background stuff, like the emails and the, you know, trying to catch up on blog posts. And, you know, I'm just learning how to streamline everything. And once I get that, like my automations on my emails and stuff like that, once I get that down pat, then I'm fucking going to be awesome.
And I actually... like, so that's so funny. I like the background, right? Like stuff, blogs, keeping up in the background, putting content out. But the issue is because I have to prepare. Well, I don't have to probably, but I do prepare for my session. So for me, there's prep work before the session. I'll access your Akashic record. I'll gather your intel. I'll clear it. Then I'll speak to my clients for an hour about it. Then I have to upload and email them. So I don't have any time anymore for the background stuff. And sometimes I get emails. People give me shit. They're like, I haven't heard from you in a few days. And I'm like, fuck, I literally can't find 1 second. So we're still tweaking over here. We haven't figured it out.
Yeah. I'm very lucky because I have Keith. Yes. You know, my hubby's very technologically advanced. Like, he did my website. He did all of that. And I'm just like... that poor guy. Like, I yell or I'll text him and be like, I fucking hate technology. It's not working. And then he'll come to, like, press a button and it works. You know what I mean? So
I don't know technology that well. So I have to learn it, then try to implement, then fuck it up, then have to call the fucking queue to get in for help. It's really brutal, but it's my karma. Like, I'm not going to say I deserve this, but I deserve it. Fuck, I deserve it.
I'm not going to say I deserve it, but I deserve it.
Oh, God. I wasn't a shitty person, but I just had a few lifetimes. It's my shadow, right? So we've all had lives as royalty and queens and goddesses. I've had a few of them and took that just a little too far. If you've listened to the podcast, is it Icarus, the guy who flies too close to the sun and gets burned? Yeah. And it's not my karma. I hated that I did that. That was like my lowest life, that I would have got wrapped up in my power and like expected people to do things for me. So I'm learning to love it, but I at the time hated that aspect of myself. So I deliberately scheduled this life to pay it back and work really hard at everything I do. And it's like literally in my Akashic records, your lessons will be learned the hard way. Fuck. Why? Because I have a little princess inside of me who hates doing bitch work. Like putting together a gazebo, which is what I'm trying to do right now.
I love it.
Fuck. So It's my karma. I know I need to do it. But the thing about karma is all you got to do is close the lesson out and then move on.
Exactly.
So it's not forever. But now I have to unlearn that overworking. And you've done readings for me. I'm having a really fucking hard time letting go of that.
Yeah, a little bit. It's all good. It's all good though.
Anyway, so it's like, just be reasonable, self-evaluate. That was a tangent. I don't even know what we're talking about.
I know. It's like we do that. But here's the thing, you guys. Just, I guess what it comes down to is 100% self-awareness and be really brutally fucking honest with yourself. You can't.
And go deep.
Yes, you guys.
Don't bypass. For fuck's sakes, I hate bypassing.
It doesn't get you anywhere. It ends up. It's like you try and take a shortcut and then it ends up being more detours that way, and it took you longer than it would have in the first place.
And then you find out you didn't even want that anyway because you didn't spend the time to ask yourself, what does this look like to me?
Yeah, exactly. So if it's freedom you're looking for, whether you're camp A, whether you're camp B, whether you feel maybe you fall somewhere in the middle, it doesn't matter. What does freedom look like? What aspect of freedom are you looking for? And once you know that, ask yourself why.
Make sure it's not to prove anyone wrong or fulfill some sort of unlived dream that someone else put on you, because if it's imprints or ego that you're trying to fulfill, you're also going to fail.
Yeah, 100%. So just be aware, like there's reasons. And if your answer is, I don't know why, I don't know, then you ain't ready.
And this is like this new thing that I've learned, just fucking meditate on it. People have such a block to meditation, and I'm one of those people, but you got to figure out meditation. I don't care who you are or what you're about, but if you can't figure out meditation and finding answers from within you, you're never going to get there. I used to hate meditation. I never would have preached that to anybody else. Now I'm somebody who, like, I have to, because it's the only place there's enough quiet and calm for me to hear anything and like realize what I need to work on next. And when we were flipping to figure out what we needed to talk about, meditation came up twice. And I was like, okay, I'm getting this push that I have to tell people my meditation experience, because I was not open to it at all. I couldn't rest long enough for that. I couldn't calm my mind. I was just like a fidgety mess. You got to push through it, you guys, because your biggest answers and healing and awareness of who you really are and what you really need will be there. And meditation's different for everybody. It doesn't have to be a 4-hour event. I can do a soul searching meditation in like 15 minutes.
You guys, meditation can be mindful walking. Yes. You don't have to sit there chanting with your eyes closed, like, no, you just are mindful and present. That's all meditation is. And so if you're in the zone washing dishes or having a shower or whatever it is, where you're just in the zone and just like non-judgmental.
But being aware of your feelings too. Like sometimes it's like we're so good at being like, no, I really, really want this. I'm stuck on it. And then it's like realizing you did all these healing modalities all day, but you're actually hella exhausted and like not looking forward to doing it again tomorrow. Like, listen to what you're thinking about when you are mindlessly doing things and how you're feeling about it, because your answers are there.
Absolutely. And you know what? Pay attention to your thoughts. I do this with my clients. Like sometimes I make them do thought journals, because don't have judgments on your thoughts. Don't say, oh, I shouldn't be thinking about that, or I shouldn't be thinking that way, or I shouldn't be doing this. Think of your thoughts as noise. It's just noise that you're listening to, you know, background noise. You're not judging it. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is what it is. So if you're just in that state where it's like, okay, and your thoughts, you're never going to turn your thoughts off. It does it automatically.
Yes.
So you're never going to turn that off, just like, because we're human,
yeah,
right?
And that's a misconception about meditation. I can't turn my thoughts off. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to listen to them.
You can calm your mind so that you can. The point of meditation, you guys, is to calm your mind long enough so that the thoughts, when they do come in, you can recognize and let them go. That's it. It's not like I'm sure those enlightened states where, you know, you literally just are and there's no thoughts or whatever. But I mean, unless you're meditating for 12 hours a day, good fucking luck. And that's not realistic. But just listening to the thoughts that come in without judgment. Without judgment. That's the big thing. And then recognizing them, letting them go. That's it.
All right. Anyways, it's been
enough with that tangent.
Yes. Camp B. So these are the people that I probably was, and then also like kind of seeing in my worldview with my friends and acquaintances and even some of my clients. So Camp B are the people that have these ridiculous amounts of gifts and authenticity, and they already know they want to create something that's unique and beautiful, and they know who they are, but their confidence is basically in the toilet.
Yep.
And they do not feel that they have anything to say or do, and they're so humble that they're like afraid to do it, because who am I to say that? And it kills me a little bit inside, because clearly we need more people like that in the world that are doing these services from a humble perspective and with the people and grounded. But it's like, I just see bypassing. I just need one more thing to get this right. I just need one more course. I need one more of this. I just need my certification to arrive in the mail.
Excuse.
Yes. Bypassing. Yeah. We need merch that says bypassing, because it's like, oh, fuck. It's just something I see all the time.
Yeah.
And it's okay not to it's okay, Group B, to be nervous and not have everything meticulously planned out. I've actually been telling people now, stop over planning your business. Just get the business cards, work with some acquaintances, get some referrals, offer some discount codes. When I first started, I was doing readings for $40, and they were like, I wasn't as intuitively tapped in at the time, so it would take me 4 or 5 hours to repair.
So you were working for $10 an hour?
Like, probably less.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, at the end of it all, probably less than $10 an hour. And I'm not saying do that, because that's not what we want, but like, just do something.
Yeah.
You're holding back your abundance, you're holding back your dreams if you just stick in planning mode forever, and then never address and again self-assess and like dealing with your own bullshit. What about me? What is it that I'm so insecure about?
What is the fear? What is the fear behind it? Go back, listen to our fear episode. But what is the fear? Because ultimately that is the only thing that ever holds us back in life, is fear. Because if it was coming from a place of love, it would be like, okay, I completely love myself. I trust myself. I trust the world. I trust this is right. And you just go with it. Exactly. Right? So what holds you back? Fear. You know what it is 9 times out of 10, or at least with the people in this category that I worked with a few months ago? It was the fear of that lack of security and the fear of the unknown and the fear of money.
Yes. And what I see is like, yeah, like fear of like being seen, fear of ridicule. Mm-hmm. Like I've seen that a lot too.
Yeah. What will people think?
Yeah. What will people think?
Who the fuck cares what people think?
I know. And you know what? I'm like, I don't know how your family is, but I'm one of those perfect examples. My family wants to understand and wants to support me through this, but they just don't get it, and they honestly can't. So I've relied on my family prior to this to be my cheerleader. They gave me a lot of confidence and knowing that they'd sort of catch me if I fell in a lot of my scenarios. So I've had to really like rework and realize like they're just not going to see it my way. But then it's like insane to me to think like, you know, we have this podcast and people are listening to it.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's
totally.
like,
share with your friends.
Yeah. Like your group of your friends, your family, your immediate people may never support or see you, but there are people that are waiting desperately for you to share your gifts with the world and say what needs to be said.
And that's not to say, you know what, you might have a shit ton of people who don't understand what the fuck you're doing, why the fuck you would ever want that life, because it's not their path. And it's not their authentic alignment. Exactly. So that doesn't mean, though, they're not going to support you. I think that comes in a lot. I've seen that with a lot of my coaching clients. I've seen that with a lot of people I work on, like in their healing work. They work from an assumption that my family and friends will get rid of me. I will be shunned. I will be abandoned. The fear of abandonment is huge, whether it's subconscious or not. But I look at my family who, like, God bless them, you know, and what, like, even my best friend, Lisa, doesn't quite get it. Not 100%, not like we do.
Yes.
You know? But goddamn, Lisa supports me like nobody else.
Sometimes support doesn't have to come from understanding.
No. And it's just like, I respect that you're doing this. I don't fucking get it. My parents, I've always been a weird kid. Like, I wanted to dye my hair blue, and I wanted to paint my nails black, and I wanted to line my lips with blue. I used to use blue eyeshadow, or no, not eyeshadow, lip liner, and I'd color in my lips, and they'd be like, fuck, but they rolled their eyes at me, but they never told me I couldn't. Mm-hmm. Right? They were just like, okay, then give me that look. My family, they call what I do, including my 10-year-old niece, by the way, they call what I do voodoo shit.
Oh my God.
But it's like,
I kind of like it though.
It's not in a derogatory way. Like, they're not doing it to be assholes.
But there's like an element of like trying to understand. They're like, okay, she does things we don't understand, seems whimsical and magical. I do understand what voodoo is. I've made the link. My family, I don't think they listen to this, but they don't even acknowledge me when I speak about it. They're just like, they'll just like change the subject, or sometimes we'll just sit in silence. And then I'm like, fuck me, right? Like, it's so uncomfortable and it's horrible and it's awful. But you know what? To be present to, but you know what?
To be fair, if I can play devil's advocate for a minute.
Yes, please do.
Let's flip this. Okay, I'm going to do a little coaching session.
Yes,
but let's flip this and let's look at it through a loving perspective. Maybe they are just so insecure and so scared of offending you that it's easier just to not say anything because they don't understand it. Then, like, they're just like, I don't want to offend her. I don't want to seem really stupid. And like, that's, and they hold
probably
back.
Where my mom comes from. But I think my dad is like, please shut the fuck up. But that's okay. I'll never expect him to understand anyway. But like, no. And that's another thing. It's like, don't internalize, like, don't create these limiting beliefs, because probably 99.9% of the times it's not even true.
They're assumptions. They're not beliefs. They're assumptions. It's just, we've made the assumptions so deep they solidified as beliefs.
Yeah. And then this is also where the karma comes in, right? Like, I've had past lives where I told you I flew too close to the sun, got burned. I had a lot of power. I probably didn't fucking listen to many people that were trying to advise me. Like, so guess what? People will treat you as you treated them. So I have a lot of people in my personal life that don't listen to me. Like, it's just a weird, like, combination of things though. Like, I feel like you can see it. It's like, you didn't listen to people. Yes. But then also you have such a low opinion of yourself because of this life that you like don't want people to listen to you. It's a very like interesting dynamic that we're trying to like sift through. But
there's that pendulum swinging back and forth again.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, it's like, can't be. Just start the smallest thing. Like, if you're insecure to be like, I'm here offering a service, why don't you start a blog? Because it's a lot safer to sit behind something and write what you know, and you can almost remain a little bit anonymous. Yeah. You can get a little avatar like we have for our logo, and you don't have to put your whole self out there and say,
I love our logo so much.
Oh me too.
It makes me so happy. Anyway.
It's awesome. But it's like, just do something. You have knowledge, you have gifts, and if it feels better, like, let's use Akashic Records because that's what I do. Maybe you want to read Akashic Records, but you can't fathom the confidence to sit face to face with someone or on the other end of a Zoom call. I've met Akashic Record readers that type up the report and send it straight to you, and you just have to read it. Tweak things, make it safe for you to start, and then maybe eventually one day your confidence will be enough that you don't have to spend all that time writing it out. You can just do a little bloop Zoom call or do a little recording or whatever it is and send it to your client.
Yeah, that's like me and my YouTube channel. All you ever see is my hands.
Exactly.
Just because honestly, you guys, I very rarely ever do anything with my hair, and I'm too fucking lazy to do makeup and shit. Like, let's be honest. It's just, I'm like, I need to get you the information as quickly as possible, and this is the easiest way.
Yeah. See, tweak it. Find a nice safe space or way for you to do something. It does not have to be the way that your mentor did it or the way you studied that course. It's actually better if you do it your own unique way. But it's like, just do something.
But don't let that be an excuse either. Don't let that be, I haven't found my own way yet, so I better not do that. Can you not hear them all of a sudden going, there? Like, click, there's permission. There's permission.
I'm listening to them right now being like, Randi just talked about divine timing. If I'm not 100% sure what my way is, I must wait for the divine timing to notify me.
And the universe will give me signs. Meanwhile, the universe has given you 20 signs. But again, that confirmation bias, we need merch with that too. Confirmation bias, you're not actually looking at those, right? Because it's like, look look, there's that sign that I'm completely
and like
ignoring.
The worst part is about this is that Camp A people think they're group Camp B, and Camp B people are like, I'm probably Camp A.
Yeah, I don't want to jump it. Yeah. I better not jump the gun.
So right now, if you're placing yourself in the wrong camp and you're making excuses in your mind, try for 1 second to see maybe if you belong in the other camp. Just see how each camp feels like. You know, maybe you're somewhere in the middle. That's possible too. But I can just see, especially the Camp Bs, trying to be like, oh, I'm probably in Camp A.
Oh, yeah.
You're probably not in Camp A, for the love of God.
Like, if you're thinking, oh, yeah, I'm probably in Camp A, and you're doing it like that kind of apprehensive, like, oh, no, probably, you know what, you're probably right, I'm probably Camp A, then no. But if you're sitting there going, there's no way I'm Camp B, then you're probably Camp A.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, it's so funny. But I mean, I think whichever camp you're in, the original tips that we gave you of look at your reasons. And I mean, like, look, don't be like, yeah, I have a general, good
We
enough.
mean like minute, specific details of your calendar day to day. Like, what does it look like? And are you accounting time for background?
Get specific.
Specific. What does freedom really mean to you?
And why do you want it? Because if you're just looking at it as an excuse to get out of the job you hate, well, you can do anything to get out of the job you hate. Yeah. You could quit and go work at McDonald's. Who the fuck cares? But what's your fear of that? What will people think?
And I do work with a lot of people who want to become self-employed, but I also work with people that are perfectly fine to continue to work in the job that they want. They just want to tweak to get better satisfaction. I have literally had clients create new jobs for themselves by sifting through, why do I want this? So I actually know a woman who, she worked for government, like she worked in basically what social services would be. But so she had client caseloads, but she also had a lot of filing and reporting and all this background stuff. And eventually she was like, I don't really like the client side of things. I'm seeing this huge gap with how we're reporting, and it's ruining our funding. It's ruining our credibility. It's just really wishy-washy because people are overburdened with clients. So I said, okay, well, what would your dream job be? She's like, I actually love helping people, but I'm not interested in client work anymore. I actually would rather work on better referral systems, better recording, better reporting to the government, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, get specific. Why do you want that? Do you actually think? And she's very organized and analytical. So she was very much using her authentic gifts and true self. And she ended up going to her management and saying, this is a gap, this, and this. And I am willing to solve this, but I need either a pay raise or I need you to give me more time. So taking off the client caseload. Yeah. So they actually didn't give her a raise off the start, but they had someone cover her caseload while she revamped this whole system. It was like a 3-month process, I think. Probably. Took her a long time, and then she had to train everybody. And then anyway, this long-winded story, she did such an amazing job that she basically created a new position that paid her better, and she really likes traveling. So she ended up going around to other pockets or buildings or whatever that do that and training and revamping everyone else's program. So she got the job she wanted, she got the pay raise she wanted, and she got a little bit of the freedom she wanted. Yep. Don't dismiss being able to manifest abundance and success in the world that you live in now. Exactly. Don't let trendy hot button things pull you aside if you haven't actually assessed, because it's likely that you're going to get a harsh reality check that it's not exactly what you hoped it would be. Exactly. But yeah, no, I love stories like that. Yeah. And that's what I again, I try to work with my clients to get comfortable with where they are now. You want freedom? Guess what? You can train your brain and you can tweak stuff to have that freedom now. You don't have to, not saying that you'll give up on your dreams. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. But if your reasoning behind that big dream is something you can fix now, why wouldn't you? And thinking about my experiences in Camp A now, trying to see it together. So I was a workaholic when I was at my other job, and I couldn't make space for freedom then. And I didn't bother to work on that part of myself because, to be honest, I wasn't really aware of it at the time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I just took that toxic trait and put it into my entrepreneurial based business. And it's causing me a lot of fucking grief, to be honest. Like, I love what I do. I wouldn't take back a minute of it. But if I just would have taken a little bit more time to acknowledge where I was then and work out some of those toxic traits, I probably would have skipped a lot of shit that I dealt with at the very beginning of what I'm doing now.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's like that maybe. Well, I don't think I jumped too soon because I was about to blow my brains out, but...
Well, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And if you're sitting there going, I have nothing else to fall back on and I lost my job and I, then yeah, run with it. What have you got to lose? But I'm just saying, like, again, guys, timing is so important.
Yeah. And if you are someone, let's say you're in Camp A and you're like, fuck, I'm in Camp A and I jumped too soon. Well, it doesn't mean you're going to fail. We're not saying that, but you're going to have a longer initiation period. You're going to have a longer time period before you start to tap into that abundance and success that you really wanted.
And you're going to have to account for that. And then if like you're in it now, fucking trudge ahead, but know that you'll probably have to find a side job and you'll probably have to find something to supplement and, shit like that. And
yeah, like
there's nothing wrong with that.
I had a stepping stone job, which I talked about before. So I had that just to cover my bases while I was transitioning. I didn't have to backtrack. And let's say I was talking to someone in group A, I would probably tell you not to go find another job because you would be distracted from the path you're on. But fuck, you got to grind, man. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out a way to tweak it right now. What is it that's not working? Tweak it. Is there a course you could take? Is there, you have to do something different. Like if it's been longer than a month or 6 weeks is usually the window that I give you with the initiation. You quit your job, you're offering your services. The universe may torture you for about 6 weeks just to see if you really mean it. And that's just something that I've channeled from the Akashic Records and with my manifesting. So if it's longer than that and the lull is peaking on and your bank account's dwindling, nerve is coming in, like you can't pay your bills kind of thing, like you're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. Something is incorrect and misaligned. So you are going to have to course correct. And it's not going to be going back to the old patterns and bullshit that you did before. It's going to be, you have to tweak it. You're doing something inauthentic. You're doing something that's not in alignment here. You're not focused enough.
That's not to say though, you guys, if you get a side gig, big deal.
Yeah, who cares?
Do it. It allows you that little bit of freedom in the sense of that money issue, right? Yeah. And because if you're sitting around worrying about money and like, oh my God, it's not going to come to you.
You're not even in the right mental headspace to be helping other people through their healing. And you know what? Like when I had this stepping stone job and I was cutting back hours. I was full time when I first started, but it gave me enough like mental freedom to focus on my career. And then I was cutting back. I was only working 1 or 2 days. And then COVID happened and I was obviously laid off. So I was one of those people that was eventually forced out because I was in Camp B at that point in time.
Yeah.
So I was forced out. But there's nothing wrong with having a side gig because honest to God, I miss it a little bit. Right now, I'm pretty isolated. I work by myself. I'm doing Zoom meetings. I love the Zoom meetings though, but it's like, I don't get to see like humanity. And it was kind of isolating over winter. And I was like, I kind of miss going to that job where there was like a team and we would like laugh and joke and like have fun. And I'm like, I kind of miss having coworkers.
Yeah. I kind of love, I'm not going to lie. Cause see, I work half at home and half at the clinic. Mm-hmm. I love that. That is the perfect scenario. Because fuck, we have fun at the clinic. We have so much fun. And like...
And some of that like camaraderie in my life. Yeah. It's pretty like me and my dog. Like if you guys follow me on Instagram, she's been employee of the month for 2 years running now. Like we hang, but I do like miss like people sometimes. Yeah. And it's just like shit. So anyway, again, something that if I would have spent a little more time evaluating, maybe, I mean, obviously I was laid off, but it's like, what do you really want though? Because don't just assume the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And then don't start associating failure to having to go and get a second job or having to tweak something that you thought you would have down pat. Like,
exactly.
Don't judge your thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't judge yourself.
For instance, like maybe a scenario for you, like a solution for you. I'm not saying this, but you know what I mean?
No, I'm actually
but
curious,
it's like,
I'm like, I need solutions.
Maybe you go work out of a place like a clinic or something where you're still working by yourself, but but you have that around you, that camaraderie. You can go, you can have that social interaction, and then you get to go home.
Yes.
You know, like,
actually, that would be my ideal scenario. I'm trying to manifest an office space, and I'm going to like pull in a couple people.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we're there together, you know? But I want a window. So that's important to me. Like, I have very low credentials. I just want to have a couple people there and a fucking window.
See, if I was being honest, I would love to do everything out of one space with just a couple other people. I love how we're just randomly chatting about our dreams. And like one room has a window where that's like my office and coaching. And then I like the room that I'm in now because it is totally dark and fenced off, and that for my healing. So that there's no distraction, because there is, I find with the windows, I love to have them and I wish I could have plants in there, but the outside world gets in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't like have your quiet sanctuary there. Okay, like, well, let's chat more about this later, because I see a collaboration in our future. Yeah. Hopefully this is in Mexico though.
I was just gonna say, you mean like when we moved to Mexico in a year? Mm-hmm. Less than?
That's what we're manifesting, you guys.
Yeah, that's our plan.
Yes.
Cat's out of the bag.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, but so I think we kind of, do we have anything else to say about Can't Be other than, just get on it?
Fucking get going.
And okay, one more thing about Can't Be while I'm thinking of it, because I meant to say it earlier. We're not trying to push you out of the nest before you're ready. That's not. I'm so glad you said that. Because if you go before you're ready, you're gonna like really feel it and you're gonna be uncomfortable, and then you couldn't do as well as you could, or you won't do as well as you could.
Yeah.
So start baby steps, you guys. Maybe it's like, I want to, but I don't really have the confidence. Well, fine. Start doing a couple things out of your home. Do it for half price just to see if garner interest or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Just start small. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to quit my life and start new and do all this thing like we were forced into a little bit. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like that. Just start baby steps. And then the more you do that, you're going to add another step, and you're going to take another step forward. And then you're going to be like, look at me striding, look at me strutting. Fuck yeah. Now I'm ready. And you go.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I'm so glad you said that. So like, in summary, do some actual self-assessments of what you actually want and be fucking specific and be fucking honest about yourself with where you're at and what your motives and intentions are. And then like, you have to acknowledge that divine timing exists and like, trust it. Listen, flow, do that meditative stuff where you're like, am I really in alignment here? Do I feel awesome about this? What's going on? And then know that it's not going to be easy. Mm-hmm. Though.
Yeah.
Because what is a massive thing I see in the Akashic records is that I think I mentioned it in the last one. I swear I say this every day. Like, if you could manifest instantly a full client load, you're charging the maximum amount you would, you're making bank, you're $10,000 coming into your account, like, you would just be like, shit, that was easy. Can I manage to manifest $20,000 a month or whatever? So you're never going to be grateful or appreciative for anything you've created. So 100% you are going to have a lull no matter which fucking camp you're in, but you have to keep going and self-assessing and being aware and trusting and rerouting, because if it comes easy, it doesn't mean shit to us, and I don't care who you are.
Okay, here's the thing. Let me break it down in a simple sentence as I possibly can, right? Assuming that you're authentically aligned and that this is the right path for you. It doesn't matter A or B, okay? It will come with ease, but it won't be easy.
Yes. Thank you.
It'll come with ease, meaning like things flow and it happens, but it won't be easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Because that summarizes it so well. Like, I love what I do. I have fun doing it. And everything just managed to take care of itself. But that like uncertainty sometimes is not easy to dance with. And it's like, you got to be self-aware on a constant basis. Like, it's just. Oh.
And you have to be aware of your own motives and intentions and that ego that gets in the way and the higher self.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Because, that'll wreak havoc with your life.
Yes.
So, remember, guys, bringing back Patreon here. If you guys are looking for guidance, right? I mean, to be fair though, my coaching unfortunately doesn't count with the Patreon guidelines or the Patreon discounts. But if you can always come and get a reading with us, you can get a healing session with us. Whatever it is, you can interact with us on, Patreon if you want. And like, you get a discount with us too.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited for that Facebook group too, because we can see some of your feedback to stuff.
And you can ask questions.
Yeah, you can ask questions. And then the next episode, we're like, oh shit. Because I mean, Randi and I are fucking in it now. Like, I remember not being in it, but it's like, I don't always remember like what exactly is relevant. So if you're bringing up a question, like that was really confusing, or like, what do I do if this case scenario? It's like, oh shit, we can see it and be like, let's address that in the next episode. Exactly. Or let's answer it in the group. Like,
and we want to hear your stories.
Because damn it, I'm actually so curious about this stuff. And I'm always like, send me a message. And like, nobody sends me messages. So like,
I know.
Come on.
Shoot us an email. Send us Instagram messages.
Feedback.
Make us feel special. Just kidding.
Well, it's like, but going back to that. Oh, feels
see what I did there?
I'm genuinely curious. Like,
Me
I
too.
can see that people are listening, and I'm like, what's the feedback out there? Like, what do we want to see more of? What are we interested in? Like,
yeah, help us help you, right?
Yeah, seriously.
But we want, and tell us your story. Like we said last time, send us your awakening stories in an email. Or like, we want to read that shit out.
I just shared one of my clients' manifestation stories. Like, we would love to have more examples to share with people. And if you're interested, we can do like, again, the Patreon Good Karma shout outs on the podcast. We can actually use your stories.
Totally.
And like, I don't know, you can let us know if you want to remain nameless or not. But it's kind of fun.
Totally.
I would listen to a podcast if I was like, oh, maybe they'll share my story.
Oh my God, I've so like submitted stories to certain things. And it's like, if they read it, it's like the greatest thing in the world.
You're like, fuck, I'm legit now.
I'm like, ooh, I'm famous.
Totally. Yeah. So like, please, we're so excited about the Patreon because it's like, that's the engagement piece that I'm like, I need.
Craving.
I need this. What's happening on the other end?
And then you get tons of extra shit. Like,
yeah. So it's like a win-win for like both of us, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. I hope you guys get it. No, but I'm like, oh God, I'm so looking forward to some fun stuff in there.
Me too.
It's going to be so good.
Yes.
Anyway, we could probably sit and like gab. It's been like, what, an hour and a half-ish?
Definitely our longest episode.
By far.
But to be fair, the channel that we were supposed to focus on was fucking hella confusing.
Well, I mean, you had one. And I had one.
Yeah.
And we had to put it together.
Like,
but I think we did a good job. Let us
me
know.
too. Yeah,
are you fucking confused? Or
just us. We were like, well.
Did they turn it off after 5 minutes? And they're like, tap me out. I'm so fucking done.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. Anyway, send us your stories. Join Patreon because we're going to have some fucking fun over there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited for the bonus episodes.
Oh, they're going to be funny.
And they're going to be totally... Okay, so...
You'll get a taste of who we really are in the bonus episodes.
Like, it's going to be straight up. I mean, these aren't edited by any stretch of the imagination, but this is going to be like... I think we're going to do it visual, you guys.
Oh, my God. So you can see the heated arm movements and passion over here.
Like, oh, my God. The flailing and the hair everywhere and the stuff and the... Oh, my God. It's the body language. Yeah. Just go join Patreon, you guys. It's going to be so fucking fun. But
yeah.
Anyway, check out our websites if you want to get a reading or anything like that. And we should probably
close
leave it here.
Out. Just fucking longest episode ever.
You guys love it, though. Anywho, or any shit, as I used to always say. Any shit. We're going to close it off here. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being with us. And we'll talk to you very soon on our next episode. Bye.